Hello everybody, welcome to the Sound Test Room. Today we're going to take a look at Compose, which is an app which will generate 4-part harmonies from things that you play. So we'll start with a new one. Sorry, hang on. Empty composition. There you go. So we can record a soprano part, a mono part, a soprano, alto, tenor, and bass. Okay, so quickly, before I get into the Midi part of the dark and murky world of iOS Midi, which we're going to explore a little bit in this as well, we're going to create some bits and pieces. So first of all, we can hit that and record new. Okay, so this will gives us our options of recording. I'm going to set the record tempo at 120. That's as high as you can go, but you can play back your composition at any speed. Now this follows certain rules. We're going to allow chromatics. No, we're going to leave them off because I'm only going to play white notes. Okay, but if you switch it on, you get the black notes as well. Time signature, and we're going to snap to notes at the highest snap we can. And that's basically, so what we're going to do is just hit record. So we've recorded 6 bars, which we can add. So you see you've added 6 bars there, and it's playing it more or less like we played it. Now, if we hit this little harmonize here, it will harmonize all the other parts. So it's now generated a 4-part harmony. Okay, it doesn't sound great, but you know, if you wanted to go back and do it again or create some new parts, you can always do that as well. Now, here is the piano which was playing on all of them, but we could change to, well, we could leave it on an organ there, and then we could select alto and have that playing as a guitar, and we could choose a different one for the, we don't want that, do we? We could choose that. So now we have only a few choices of sound, but so there you go, there's your basic thing. But what I want to do is get this to control other synthesizers that I've got loaded into the iPad. So what we're going to do is note sound off for all of these parts. Okay, and for the bass. So I've nothing at all. Now, I'm also now going to set up my MIDI channels in here first. So MIDI channel out is the default setting. So for the first part, MIDI channel out is going to be channel 1. And then channel 2, which is the default for the tenor, we're going to just change that to 3. And for the bass, we're going to change that to 4. Okay, so now we can close. And let's go to some synths we can pick from. So first of all, we'll pick Cassini. Okay, this will play the soprano part. Let me pick a sound that's more suitable. B7. Okay. And I just want to adjust the delay on that because it's too much. Now we want to go to our settings, and you'll see that MIDI, you find MIDI channel in is set on channel 1. That would be Omni, so receiving on everything, but we only want to receive from other things throwing out on channel 1, okay, which we've got Compose, the soprano part, output in channel 1. Okay, so let's just check that that's worked. If we go to there now, theoretically, this part should be Cassini. Okay, that is great. Now, we need to pick a part for the alto part. So if we go back to here, and I think Animoog. Okay, so let's just pick a sound. Let's pick something from the acoustic and maybe, or plucked tubes. Actually, plucked choir. Let's turn the volume down a little bit as well. Okay, so go to setup now, and channel 2, MIDI in channel 2. So we could select from any of these, but we want channel 2. So MIDI in channel 2. Don't worry about the MIDI out, it's off. Just leave that switched off. Okay, so we're only interested in receiving information so Animu can play it. We're not sending it out. Okay, so now we should have here and I tell you what, I'm going to skip the tenor because otherwise we'll be here forever. But we're going to set something up for the bass. Let's go back and choose iSem. Oh, iSem takes a little bit of time to load, but you start to get an idea of how iOS MIDI can work quite well. It's just glitchy. I mean, it's quite possible I'll get a crash or the whole iPad will shut down and I'll have to start it up again. This happens a lot, you know, but there you go. So I'm happy with that sound. So we want to hit connect here. And once we're in connect, we can see that because I'd already practiced a few things, I'd set this up on channel 4. So MIDI channel 4 to receive. Okay, so we're sending the bass out on New Compose on channel 4 and we're receiving it on channel 4 in here. So that's basically that. So now hopefully we'll have Cassini, Animu and iSem playing the bass. Okay, super. So what we're going to try and do now is record all of this into Cubases with audio bus. Now this theoretically should work, but we may get a crash because CPU load may be just too much. Actually, what we'll do, just to be on the safe side, we'll take out Animu. Okay, so that's gone and closed. So we should be just having the soprano and the bass. Right, okay, that's great. I did it like this because you can set up all 4 up and you'd probably be okay. But because I'm making a video, I don't want to have the thing crash and then because of overloading the CPU, you know. Okay, so let's just open Audio Bus and set Cubasis as our output. That's fine. Go back there, and create new, and we'll just call it YT. Done. So we've done that now. So here we have a blank sort of thing called white. It doesn't matter about the name. Go back to our input and control channel and choose where is it now? Cassini. And what was the other one? iSem. Now you'll see that these are both already up and running, and it's fine. We can add a third one. Like I said, you can go up to 3. When Audio Bus 2 comes out, you can do as much as you like, but you know, you're still going to need a fairly powerful iPad to do it. And this is an iPad 4, you know, and you still get some problems. So if we go back to Cubasis now, we should see, there we go. We have Cassini and the iSem. Now, for the purposes of this, I'm not worried about the counting and stuff like that, so I'm going to leave the metronome off. It will give me a 2-bar counting. It'd probably be a good idea, actually. No, it doesn't matter. You can set up your counting as you like, but because what I've got to do now is jump back to Ucompose to start it off, so we're triggering Cassini and iSem, so you're seeing how this is working, yeah? And this is like anything for like harpist, anything that's not audio bus compatible but will control MIDI works exactly the same way. If you've got arpist controlling sample tank like I had in the video, I could set sample tank up in here, go back to arpist, hit play, and it will play into this theoretically. Okay, so let's see how this works. I'm going to press record. And hit play. Okay. Now, if we go back to Cubasis, stop recording, and there it goes. We've successfully managed to record both of our tracks in there. Now, remember my counting stopped after 2, so I got some blank space because I didn't have time. Well, this should be fine. So if we started about there. Now we're free to do any mixing or apply any effects that we now wish to those 2 tracks. All right, guys, so there's the basic idea of that. Like I said, Ucompose is really great. What I could do now with Ucompose is also, I could go, right, create new, add, and create new, add. Now you see what happens. It won't, if I create a piece, it has to have the harmony to be generated elsewhere. So for instance, if I harmonize now, it fills in the whole thing. So we've got the whole thing playing now. Okay, and if we then decide to, let's just put some of their instruments back in. Mix choir is nice, so we'll put mix choir on both of those. What we should have now is Cassini playing, ISEM playing the bass, and choir playing these other parts that I've generated. So our first bit. Okay, so it can get a bit chaotic, but like I said, you know, you can change, you can mess stuff about, you can. But also another very, very cool thing about this is this musical notation here. So we can show full score. There's the whole thing that we've just recorded. So there's the part that I played basically, and there's the other bits, and there's the bit that ISEM's playing, and the other bits that the choir are now playing as well. You can go through all that, and you can send this off, you can email it, you can print it as a PDF. Also, just as a thing, we can edit any of the parts, so we can put new bits in, so we can like add notes. Okay, no, see, we can add bits and we can edit, and we can take notes out. See, remove the note, and it's fine. So you can, it's quite good, but you'd have to spend some time with it to get the best out of it. Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope you found the MIDI information quite useful, and I'll see you later.